Hello, and here we are live after being gone for a little while. Things look okay. Sorry about the reflections in the TV. I'm trying to find a fix for that in the coming week. So here we go, and here we are live once again. Everything seems okay. So hey everybody, nice to have all of you back. This is the live tech show number 83, and we are Tuesday, August 8th, 2017, and this is a new format show, so it means we have changed a few things. First of all, we're going to start with some tech news for the week, so kind of bringing back the from the couch moment where we talk about some of the tech news, and then we will go to the questions, and then we will have our last little moment of what's good, what's bad, what's new, what's not in what's good and bad in our rant of the week of the good and the bad news of technology, all packed into one show on Tuesdays. So welcome everybody. It's nice to be back. I feel a little refreshed. I got to say that when you do a lot of live shows for many weeks in a row, what happens is you at some point get, it's like working too hard. You know, you get to a point where it's like, okay, I need a vacation. I need a little bit of time off. So this is flavored water with ice. So basically, feels good to be back. And looking forward for this new, the new format, the new way the show is going to go. And while we do it, I will adjust things and change things around, including this TV is going to be very different at some point, maybe even next week. So we're playing around with all of that. So hello everybody in the chat room. Nice to have you all back and see all of the familiar names. One sad news that of course let's pass along, and it's with really great sadness that Bobby Burgess, that is in the chat right now and that is also regular on pretty much all the shows that I do, his mom has passed away this weekend at the age 54. So it is always difficult moment. It's I've always told myself that it's very difficult for me, and I've never, I've always been bad with the choice of words and how to react to such things. I think nothing prepares us really for these events in life, but I know what you feel. I lost my mom in 2008. In case of my mom was a long illness also, so it's kind of difficult. So, but one thing for sure, I think I can speak for everybody watching this now, and in the when the show will be recorded, I think we can all say that our hearts and our minds are with you in this very difficult event, and I think we are friends more than anything else, and it's really sad, and hope that everything will be okay with you, and I want you to take good care of yourself also. I think sometimes, especially if we know when we take care of somebody for a long time. I took care of my mom for the last year and a half before she passed away, and you take good care of somebody else, but you forget to take care of yourself at some point. And I think it's very important to do so, and to be in these difficult times. It's cool to have everybody around you, surrounding. And yes, I will absolutely let Gabrielle know that your mom passed away. So take care, my friend. It's very important to take care of yourself also. Okay, this is the new format of the show. So of course what it means is that I will not be answering questions for the first roughly, I don't know, the time that, well, I have no idea how long the the news section is going to be. I will readjust the news section also. I will actually, one of the things I wanted to do for the news section, I will reuse the way I actually enjoyed the way that I did it with Gabrielle, that the way that I could actually, you know, I took some notes during the week, and so I think it's going to be fun. So hey, you're watching the Live Tech Show. My name is Gilles. We are located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and we are here to answer questions, entertain, and have some tech news of the week. So of course, all of that is possible thanks to YouTube AdSense, of course, but it's not enough. I need more support than YouTube AdSense. So of course, PayPal and Patreon are here to help me out. You can join. Already, I believe 13 patrons right now on Patreon are actually supporting me every month at patreon.com/radio and computers. And PayPal, I've got now a shorter PayPal and easier to understand and write. PayPal.me/shortwave brings you directly to PayPal, and basically it will it helps us tremendously. It helps me tremendously in continuing with what I do. So please consider a little something if you can. Reaching out mostly to the people that watch regularly that might not have, you know, given any donations, but that can. You know, there's always a first time, and any amount helps. And of course, I do understand for people that can't donate. And for the people that already donated, I want to thank you. And by the way, yes, Tim has that question. The Yahoo is the same as this. It's just this is a kind of a shortened and easier to type one for people that, you know, my name was kind of difficult to type for most people. So yes, the Yahoo email, if you use the old Yahoo, it's still the same. It's the same account actually. It's just that now I took a personalized PayPal link, but both work. The old one and this easier to type one. So if you use the old Yahoo, still works, no problem. Talking also about live shows, I've posted to different channels my schedule of live shows. Remember that today is only tech show, the tech show that we have now. The Windows Insider Hour is now on Thursdays. So it's going to be next Thursday, this coming Thursday, at 3 p.m. Eastern, 1900 UTC, on the Windows Insider channel. So if you are interested in the Windows Insider program, that's going to be on Thursdays. Fridays is now, every Friday is a radio show for those that listen to shortwave radio and everything. So hope everybody will enjoy. So I'll come back to the chat room a little later, so you guys hang in there. And of course, as we start with the tech news roundup. So the first news I want to talk about is the browser market, because we had numbers last week of browsers, and you know, it's always interesting to see the different browsers. So of course, you know, the numbers for the browser come from net market share. What they do is they actually measure the visits to specific website, and it's always, you know, interesting to see these different browsers. But there's a big issue with the browser market. And it's the fact that Microsoft Edge that is not in here, this is Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge, it's just not getting any momentum at all. We've seen that the Windows numbers, you know, Windows 10 kind of jumped about 1%. And basically that 1% should have given something to the Microsoft Edge browser numbers, and it isn't. It isn't giving any momentum to the browser numbers, and this is very interesting. It kind of it's kind of very very, very weird when you think about it, that it can't even get something. And at the same time, you know, I have this impression that you know, first of all, when they introduced Microsoft Edge with Windows 10, it was clearly unfinished, and I think they should not have done that. They should not have released it unfinished. I don't think that was a good idea. And basically, I think that made a huge problem for the future of Edge itself. One big problem, I think, for Edge also, what happened, and I did see it with some clients when Windows 10 was released. You know what? They should have not only released Microsoft Edge if they wanted, but made sure that all the favorites and the specifics of people that were using, for example, Internet Explorer, be imported to the Microsoft Edge browser automatically, so that people didn't have anything to do. You know? So one of the common things that I saw when Edge was with Windows 10 was, okay, where's my stuff? Because the problem with this is that people saw the icon of Edge and thought it was Internet Explorer because they didn't see the difference. People just saw a blue E. They click there to say, hey, I lost everything. When in fact, they just had to move on to, you know, find Internet Explorer, which was well hidden. So, you know, it's something that's just not getting there. I'm a big user of Microsoft Edge. I've been saying it. I did from time to time get off when there were some little problems with Edge. Recently it works fine with everything I do, and I love Edge. I'm a big Edge user. Of course, you know, I have pretty much all browsers installed because I have to test things with different browsers, and also to log into my different YouTube channels instead of logging off and on and off and on. You know, I just put one YouTube channel per browser, so I have, you know, every browser has its own YouTube channel. It makes it faster for me to just upload videos and multiple videos. But I gotta say, I love Edge. It's a great browser, but there's you know, I think people don't want to use it, and I think what is also the big issue, you know, the last numbers. I mean, Chrome is at 58%. I mean, Chrome is really dominating. It's huge. And at the, you know, even though the rate is slower, I wouldn't be surprised that Chrome gets past 60% by the end of this year. Today we had Firefox 55 that was released with a host of all sorts of new little features. And by the way, for those that are on Firefox, don't expect all of the features to be here today. They did say that the features of most of the features will be there within 6 weeks. So they did give like a time frame and say, well, you know, in a month's time, 30 days, like, you know, 60%, 70%, I don't remember the numbers, will have all the features, and by 6 weeks time, all the features are going to be there. One feature that I find interesting in Firefox 55, when it's going to be there, because it's not on my PC, the ability to easily, with a little touch of a button, do screenshots of a browser. So that is very interesting. I think that's a cool feature. WebVR is fully implemented in Firefox 55. That means everything that is virtual reality is now compatible with Firefox, and I believe it's one of the first browsers that is as compatible as for VR. So there's a few things that are interesting. Also, your extensions, when you get extensions in Firefox 55, you will have to authorize the extensions. You're going to have to say, yep, I want to use this extension. I think that's a cool and that's a very, very wise thing, because so many extensions are installed by malware or adware, and you just don't know about it. You know, you got this extension that's there, and it's like, oh, you know, as a tech guy, I go to my clients and I see that the browser is full of bad extensions of all sorts, and they didn't know anything, you know, and they look at their PC and, you know, they say, well, I don't have any weird software. No, but your browser is full of adware extensions, malware extensions of all sorts. Now, when that happens, they're going to actually make a little post, and there's a little something, a little notification that will pop up, and it's going to say, oh, you're using this extension, you're sure you want to use it. So you'll know when a new extension is being installed without your knowledge, basically. So I think that's very wise. Apart from that, you know, there's the usual, it's faster, it's better, it uses less RAM. That we're going to have to see. I'm going to test it out a little more this week, and we'll check out what's going to happen with that. In other news that we have, Windows 10 privacy. Apparently, with the Windows 10 privacy panel and anniversary update that a lot of you have seen, also the way that Windows 10 brings privacy. I was about to say piracy, which is it's very similar in pronunciation, but very different in what it is. Windows 10 piracy. Windows 10 privacy is actually something that, you know, since the release of Windows 10 has always been a situation, a delicate situation. And basically, you know, I don't know how many posts I've got of people saying, well, you know, it's just spyware, it's just this or that. Whoops, I just clicked on something. And yeah, these are all the news items, and we're back here. That's it. You know, I'm playing with the keyboard. I'm just gonna put it here and stop fiddling with the keyboard. Here we go. My hands are free. So it's the privacy of piracy. So for privacy, apparently the latest panel, the way that they are bringing the information, it is, people are kind of satisfied. And one of the things that was kind of interesting is that 71% of users now actually send full data. So, you know, that telemetry option in Windows where you can actually choose what data you want to send out to Microsoft. Well, there's going to be a apparently 71% of people now leave it at full telemetry, and they're not scared about it, apparently. You know, I'm one of those that keeps everything on. I didn't touch much of my privacy settings, honestly. I'm not one of those conspiracy theory guys. You know, you're allowed to, boy, I got a lot of rant when I actually called some people idiots the other day on a video. And I'm sorry, I should not use these words in a video ever. But sometimes, you know, I'm a big mouth, so, you know, I say things that sometimes maybe I should not. And basically, you know, I'm using the full, everything's okay, everything's on. I'm sending, you know, every data, everything there. I got no problem with that. I do believe it is anonymized. So even if they would do a screen, you know, like not a screen, but a RAM memory capture during a dump of data, I do not believe that they will, you know, that anybody will do anything with that. It's, you know, it's a question of trust. And I do believe Microsoft needs that trust, because if they would, you know, if one indication out of Microsoft would show us that we can't trust, it's not only going to be bad for Windows 10 as a brand. I think it's going to be bad because it's going to be, okay, let's use something else and let's forget it with Windows 10. And you know, it's that comment I see often, somebody in the chat saying, you know, I've got nothing to hide. And yeah, I understand the principle, and you know, there's nothing to hide. But it for me, it's not a question of necessarily is I've got nothing to hide. It's really mostly a question of trust. You know, I trust you to do what is safe and okay and anonymous with what I'm sending, and it's there to help you out. But don't you know, do one thing that will lead us to think that you're bad with our data, because I think that will be, you know, we're already talking about Windows, you know, being something that's less important, and with the PC market shrinking, if Microsoft would demonstrate just one thing that would lead us to think that, okay, we've used your data to do this or that, man, that would be completely, you know, really devastating. I can tell you that. So apparently people are happy with the privacy settings now. And of course, there are reasons behind the privacy settings, because somebody asked me the question a few weeks back. They said, okay, I've got a new panel with privacy, and I kind of find it okay, but you know, why are they doing it now? Why are they doing it now? They could have done that at the beginning of Windows 10. Well, here's the thing. They didn't do it at the beginning of the Windows 10 because there was no need, according to Microsoft, there was no need for that. Then, of course, all the people that are, you know, conspiracy theorists of some kind, have started speculating that, oh, look at all the data. You know, one thing that I always say to everybody, and this is important, Windows 10 doesn't do anything different than Android on your phone or iOS on an iPhone or an iPad. Remember that. These things are sending as much data as Windows. Even more. And not just that, we're moving everywhere with these things. They know where we are all the time. And for some reason, nobody cares about this. You know, you install an app, it tells you it's going to basically look at the color of your underpants. And everybody's like, oh, I don't care, I want to play the game. But Microsoft does this in Windows 10, and all hell breaks loose. So you see a double standard in privacy, depending on what you want to use. You know, I don't hear a lot of Apple fanboys saying, hey, you know, I think Apple is bad with our data when we use our iPhones. You know, what the hell? It's just crazy. Just crazy. So anyways, you know, it's just something that apparently is getting better. And like I say, the only reason they do it now is because the European Union, Tim, that is disgusting, Tim. And Patrick, it's like, you know, everybody's giving their underpants color. I think mines are blue today, anyways. And I'm not going to show you. So anyways, and they did it because the European Union just got crazy. Just gone crazy. And to satisfy the European Union, to avoid a big fine, they, you know, tweaked the privacy settings and give us this new little panel of privacy. Okay, this guy. Who's this guy? It's Marcus Hutchins. And okay, it's a very complex issue with this. So this guy is technically a hero because he's the one that looked at the code for the WannaCry ransomware, and he found out that there was a kill switch that was linked to a specific domain that didn't exist. So what he did, he actually activated that domain, and it activated the kill switch, which means that the ransomware stopped spreading suddenly. So he's a hero, and he's a well-known guy. You know what I read? Because it was it's very, very difficult. Because, okay, in short, he went to the DEF CON convention in Texas. No, it's Las Vegas, I think. It was Las Vegas, in the state of Nevada, and he got arrested at the airport on his way back home. And now he's kind of in jail because the FBI is trying to say and link the guy to the Kronos banking malware. So here's the thing, because I read, you know, it's easy to jump to conclusions. So the first thing is, oh, so he's like a bad guy. But the more I read about this guy, the more I seem to find that he's not a bad guy necessarily, because he's known as a white hat. A white hat is a hacker, a good hacker, somebody that wants to help. He's known in the community as a good guy in general. Now, of course, you're going to tell me it's not because you're a good guy in front of everybody that you're necessarily a good guy when nobody is watching. I totally agree with that. But the more I read on this, the more I seem to find that the FBI in the United States might have just gone way overboard on arresting this guy. Because one of the things that this guy, so what they say is that he would be linked somehow to the Kronos banking Trojan. The thing is, a lot of people say, yes, he might have the code for Kronos, but not in the intent to spread it, but in the intent of checking the code to see how it's built, and maybe find a way to, you know, have a kill switch like you did with the WannaCry one. So it's a very, very complex issue, and it opened one door that was very, very interesting. I was listening to a podcast with tech journalists that were saying that this is bad for the United States because, you know, everybody in the United States, all the countries, everyone needs to have you know, good hackers that will share their knowledge, share all sorts of information, so that basically you will you know what are your security flaws, and a lot of that knowledge comes from overseas. So hackers overseas go to conventions, share the knowledge, share security flaws that they see, and it is kind of interesting. And what they are saying is this might actually scare a lot of hackers and good hackers that won't want to go to the US anymore because they'll be afraid you just can't come out. And one security analyst was saying that this is a case of the FBI going way too strong towards someone, all in, of course, the famous "we got to protect ourselves." And so it's very, very difficult. It's very, very difficult to understand exactly who is and who's not. And one of the things is, of course, if the guy's innocent, I hope he will be found innocent. There's a lot of people out there that seem to say that the FBI will have a lot of difficulty having a case against this guy, but it's really something sad. And if he is innocent, and if he is really a good guy, I really hope that he gets out. But you know what? That guy, just remember one thing. If that guy is falsely arrested, what, you know, if I'd be him and I see another, you know, WannaCry scare, I say to hell with it. Let the world get scammed, because nobody, you know, I get arrested for just helping people. So I don't know. It's very difficult. What does the FBI know about this guy exactly? Let's just hope that if he's a good guy, he can get away with it. You know, I think it's very important. And if he is a bad guy, well, I don't know. And it's very difficult, you know, for a jury to really find tech people and understand the tech stuff. I gotta say. So I don't know. It's a very complex issue. I gotta say. Okay. Hey, online shopping. Who on the chat room has done some online shopping? So, of course, I've done some online shopping. I do tons of it. Never had any issues. Never had anything, you know, bad. But according to a survey, and I researched a little more, because the first survey I saw about online shopping was that in the UK, up to 70 something percent of the people that went through the online shopping, basically, they at the end, when they get to that little cart where it says that you've got your items, they abandon. They abandon because they're scared there's too much personal information. And I started looking at all the statistics, and I found a few stats for the United States also, and so we can pretty much apply all of that. And the number in the United States was something like 60-65% abandoned. So it's very interesting, because online shopping. So what that means is, of course, you know, when you buy online, you go on Amazon, for example, and it's your first time, you've never shopped. You have these items that you can find, and it's like, oh, I want to have that. It's a good price. So you click on it, and of course there's this virtual shopping cart. And basically, the virtual shopping cart has your items. And now, once you've done and you want to have your items, you got to pay for it. And it seems the place where everybody gets scared is when you have to enter your credit card and all your full details. And I can see that, because as a tech guy, I've seen a lot of people that just don't like and don't want to do online shopping because they're scared. And also, I've seen cases where people did online shopping and told me, well, I'm not going to give my real name. And I always answer back, well, you gotta, because they're going to verify that against your credit card info to make sure that you're the person buying. So you have no choice. You got to give your, you know, personal details. And that brought me to, as I was reading, a conclusion that's kind of interesting. Maybe, you know, I hate all these websites having my personal details. I got to say that. And the other day, just to give you guys an idea, the other day I was looking at something on Amazon, and I noticed that I did not clean up my profile, and I noticed that it had 3 different credit cards registered with me on Amazon. One that I don't have anymore, so 2 are left that are still working. And I thought, well, this is crazy. And I immediately thought there shouldn't be, no website should have that information about me at all. So I do think we should not have any information about credit cards, any information about, you know, personal details. Once the shopping's done, it should be a forget zone. There should be, first of all, no personal data. But worse than that, I think we need to have an online shopping experience that prevents all these big companies from getting our personal information from a credit card. You know what? I learned something. I'm using Android Pay on my phone to pay for things. And I was wondering if it was how secure that is. And very interesting, because I learned that when you use Apple Pay or when you use Android Pay, what is interesting is that it creates a virtual credit card. And when you tap to pay for an item with your phone, you're actually never giving your real credit card to the shopper, to that store, which is really cool. So that means they can't get another transaction off that same number. It's a virtual number. It's a virtual number. And I found that very interesting. So that means that shopping with your phone is actually secure, more secure than using the tap and pay of a credit card. So I think that, you know, we need that. I think we need a centralized place where we have personal information, and everything shopping on the web should have the least amount of details, the money, and where to send the items. I think that might be better, because right now with all the online scams, with all the data theft that's going on with different companies, I gotta say I'm not secure. I don't feel I don't feel okay with the fact that these companies are keeping my credit card info. I'm sorry, they shouldn't. There should be some kind of, let's just remove it. That's what I gotta say. And okay, so a few of you have said that you are shopping online, and I do shop online also quite regularly. I think you got to keep it with, you know, known websites also. Be careful not to go to unknown places, you know. Okay, Windows 10 Fall Creators Update coming soon. I mean, we are August 8th. You know, it's just incredible how time flies. Seems I was taking a break of live shows yesterday. So I, of course, you know, am looking at the Fall Creators Update. If you're an insider, we already have a few little things happening here and there, which is interesting. But also at the same time, it is. You know, I look at the Fall Creators Update, and I gotta say that I wonder why Microsoft is giving us 2 updates a year. You know, Windows being a operating system that is very business oriented, businesses don't want to update. And when I look at the Fall Creators Update, what we see is that there's not that much of new things. It's bells and whistles, you know. There's the acrylic fluent design, there's stuff like that, you know, playing around with the settings panel and Edge with all these features that nobody will use. And I just think that I'm wondering if Microsoft is really going in the right direction. And every time we have a new update, it's a big update. There's always some of these features that are left off. So I am starting to think. That basically we are going to have, you know, I am starting to think that it's better for us to have a one time a year update instead of two, and make sure that it's you know, it's okay. I'm really amazed, and I'm really wondering how all of that is happening right now, and wondering if Microsoft isn't kind of pushing things a little too fast. Like I always say, you know, I see all these people that, you know, every time there's an update, and by the way, today is Patch Tuesday, so you guys have their security updates, and there's a lot of security updates today. Microsoft Edge, the Adobe Flash, Internet Explorer, and many kernel and basic security holes in Windows, from Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 10. So make sure you update through Windows Update today. It's very, very important to get these updates to stay safe online. And so, you know, people get updates, they almost, you know, cross their fingers and are wondering. It's just crazy, you know, it's just crazy. There's too many updates, and I think one big update might be the best thing. You know, us insiders that want to have the new stuff, of course, we could have the, you know, the insider stuff. We'll see the new things every week and so on, and basically, you know, it's going to be cool. But I think that one a year is enough. Well, you know, I gotta say one thing. There's Sherry's house that's saying the 5-hour updates are stupid. You know what? It's extremely long. Every update, you know, the initialization process, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, by the way, as we have a question from Tommy that he sent for today's show, and we'll kind of answer that a little bit. Basically, I understand the new way of the Creators Update. I understand for the new way the Creators Update is going to update, because it is the initialization process is there to make the real install time as small as possible. I have to say, for that it works, because instead of going crazy over it takes 4 hours before I can just install, I've decided to do what Microsoft wants us to do. That is, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Let it do its job and use your PC like nothing is happening. I gotta say, I've done it. I've in the past, the last update, last Wednesday, and the previous one, I used this is my Insider Pro machine. I've used the Insider Pro machine without any problems. It was a little bit slower, but not that slower. So actually, from what I can see, is that it's actually pretty cool. It actually does work well. And the install time per se, that moment where it says that in the blue screen that it's updating, is very short, 30 minutes maybe. So I gotta say, I find it okay. And it's meant to be seamless. So, you know, we are the tech guys. We are the ones that are when we get, most people, when the fall creators updates start rolling out, people will not notice it's happening until it actually clearly states that you got to restart your PC. So, you know what? I think it is okay the way they do it, because it is true that they will, just work with their PC, and they'll get to that moment where it's going to say, oh, I got to restart, there's an update. And instead of being, because, it was kind of the reverse. People were having a 2 to 3 hour update before they could use their PC again. Now it's going to be there. It's going to be there, and it's suddenly going to say it's going to restart. And instead of taking 2 hours, it's going to take something like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and the update is going to be done. So I kind of understand that new way of doing things, and I think it is okay, because for most people it'll be shorter, and that initialization period, you'll have nothing to do with it. You'll just don't know that it's there, except maybe finding that your PC is a little slowed down. And well, Microsoft has that way of doing things that's always kind of a little idiot sometimes. So, last week they issued this big, oh, well, Creators Update is now rolling out to everyone. Go get it. And so, I posted a video and everything to see that there's still a lot of people that don't have Creators Update. And that led a lot of people to believe, oh, I don't have it, so I will never get it, which is not at all true. It's one of those things where Microsoft should just shut up and let things go. I can't understand these people and why they actually say things like that. So basically, the Creators Update is still rolling out, and there's still tons of you out there that don't have it. Because after my post, I got tons of emails and messages of people that said, oh, well, it's rolling out, I lost what I was about to say. I'm looking at the chat room too much now, so I'm going to look at the camera instead. So anyways, I got tons of information of messages and of people saying, well, what I want to do if I can't get it. And, I understand that, no, there's tons of machines are yet to have it also. There's something that blocks, if you don't see it in your Windows Update, by the way, it's because something that blocks the update. A driver is missing or something's not right with your machine. So I think be patient, because I think the Creators Update is still coming to most of the machines that I've seen. I don't have it here on my 7 or 8 year old Dell. I checked, it doesn't show up. So I would guess, we'll see if at some point it gets it. And also in the questions, I will answer a few questions related to that that I have for that. But anyways, it's one of those moments where Microsoft is a little goofed off and should have just not said anything. And they clearly don't know what they're talking about at certain moments. And last but not least, I did have also a lot of people ask, is there a lot of problems on Creators Update and stuff like that? It's rolling out so well. Creators Update, we don't hear about problems really. Of course, if you, if you have specific hardware, sometimes there could be an issue. And of course, there's a small fraction of people that have problems. It will always be like that. It's impossible to have 100% success rate, and that has to do with different things: software, drivers, stuff like that. But you know, it's rolling out well, and but you know, for most people, you don't really see much. Okay, so hey, we're gonna go to questions. The first part of the show is over with the little news items that I had to say. We don't have a lot of questions because we, of course, have a lot of people didn't you know, send in questions because we were off vacation a little bit. So there's not a lot of questions for today's show, but we'll take a look at some of the questions that I have. So first of all, how do you know if my PC will or will not receive Creators Update? There's no real clear way to know that. Okay, you've got to wait and see if it gets to your PC. One of our viewers, Atohinta, has of course asked me if her you know, Acer PC will get it, and of course there's a list. You know, I've tried to find the list a second time. You know, when websites are just really bad in the way that they do it, I tried to find the list again and I was unable. But there's a list that's from like April or May that states all the machines that, as of that time period, are not updated or ready for Creators Update. And you know, I think all of these PCs will eventually get it, probably. But there must be a driver or some issue. So you know, you gotta just wait and see. As for, you know, for most people, you gotta remember one thing, is that the update, you know, even if you don't have it, even doesn't show up, it doesn't really matter. You know, everything works fantastically well. It's you know, it is simply the fact that there's most people don't see anything. Don't see anything about you know, different with Creators Update, Anniversary Update, and I think we just have to, you know, think of the fact that it just needs to it just goes down to, if everything works well, who cares? Doesn't matter. You don't have Creators Update. If you get it, you'll get it. Cool. You don't get it, doesn't matter. It's not, you know, I think we don't have to go crazy with that for sure. One question somebody asked also is, will some people not have the Creators Update or have it after the default Creators Update? And of course, some people just got Anniversary Update. There are not a lot of them, but some people just got Anniversary Update, and we're at Creators Update. So it's like, what the hell? And that I think is what is broken in the Windows as a Service model. I don't think Microsoft can continue working like that for a long time. There's going to be too many branches of updates at some point if it continues like that. And I think that part is broken. I don't think, and that's what one time a year is good. Also for the updates, like I was saying earlier, it gives time for everybody that can update to update before we move on to some other thing. And that's another reason why we need to have slowdown in the updates. Do you think it's safer to force it through the media creation tool now? This is another question I got. Somebody said, well, if they kind of clearly issue that we can go there, maybe I should force it with the media creation tool and everything. Well, if you don't see it, I think it's still probably as dangerous to upgrade a machine that doesn't have it through Windows Update that a machine that, of course, can update. I think it's still as big of a risk factor because there's a reason why it doesn't show up for your machine. Something is not right. Something is wrong. and that's the thing. So it's probably as bad. Another question from Tommy. Tommy's asking a simple question that is first that he says, I think I can speak for the rest of your fans. So glad you're back doing your tech show, and that we missed it. So thanks, Tommy. And yes, I did get a lot of people tell me that they were missing out on the tech show, and they are happy that I'm back now in this new format that I hope you guys like. As for your question, you were saying that you understand that you think it's a good thing that there's a installation. When you get the Fall Creators update, it will start actually initializing the update process. And when you initialize the update process, and basically it's something you won't see. It's something that you will not see because it's going to be in the background. So basically, when Fall Creators Update appears on your machine, if you don't look for it, it's just going to initialize. And even if you look through Windows Update and you see it starting to initialize, all you have to do is close the settings window, and it's still working in the background. So it's simply ignore it, close the window. It's going to do what it has to do, and at some point it's going to say, oh, you got to restart your PC now. So that's pretty much what's going to happen at that time. So thanks for your questions, and thanks for the nice comments about being happy that I'm back. I think a lot of people are happy that I'm back, I gotta say. Once again, just want to say that after this show is going to be no show, because I've decided to do one show in the days. So if you're looking, oh, is there an Windows Insider Hour? Yes, but that's on Thursdays now. So Thursdays, 3 p.m. Eastern, 1900 UTC. That's when the Windows Insider Hour will happen. So it's just a different day. It's taking the time slot of my of the From the Couch show, basically. Okay, before we end this part, before going to the chat room, the good and the bad in technology this week. I'm giving the good news to the privacy settings of Windows 10. It seems that people are settling down now and saying, okay, privacy settings are good, and people seem happy with that. The European Union seems happy with that. I think they are proving to us that it's maybe not that bad an idea finally to have the privacy settings as they are now, and they kind of are a little bit in the mode of trying to make sure that we understand that everything there is anonymized and not used for bad things. And for the bad news of the week, come on, Microsoft, issuing an official statement that everybody gets Creators Update now, when it's not true, and there's still tons of people that don't have it. What the hell are you doing, Microsoft? Come on. This is the Microsoft that I hate. That Microsoft that doesn't communicate well, that doesn't know what they're saying. It's just, I would be so embarrassed being Microsoft with statements like that. It just shows you that, what is it? They're firing in all directions, and nobody's looking at what the hell's happening. Come on, Microsoft, please. Okay, that's the bad for this week, because that I can't understand that happened, and there's still a lot of people getting for the Creators Update And also Fall Creators Update. I want to mix both of them in. Fall Creators Update, not that much difference. Let's get back to one update a year, Microsoft. Everybody does a one update a year, by the way. It's basically going to you know, be much less of a problem if you update once a year. It's going to be you know, people won't go as crazy if you update once a year, and there's not enough changes. And every time you do an update twice a year, you always miss out on things that are never ready for that update. And every other platform is a once a year. Android, iOS, Mac, everything is a one a year. Why the hell do you want to do two a year? I don't get it. I don't get it. So that's my renting for this time. Hey, we're at Tech Show number 83. We went through the news and the questions. We had very little questions. I did see something. About we were talking about, yeah, Albert asked a question. That's I have that question regularly. Albert Zappa, is PayPal better than using a credit card? Here's the thing. PayPal is interesting, even if you use a credit card through PayPal. You know, I have my PayPal set up with ability to use my bank account, my checking account, and a credit card, and I just choose whatever I want to choose. The good thing about PayPal is the fact that even if you use a credit card, your credit card info is not sent to the online shopping company. So if you buy on Amazon and go through PayPal to pay at the end, they don't have the credit card. Credit card is stored in PayPal and never shared with anybody else. So it is safer in some way, yes. And they have a whole host of refund, you know, that you can go through. Sometimes it's a long process. You know, I've bought a lot of things on eBay, for example, and getting a refund can take a little bit of time, but you eventually get a refund if you complain about a product that's no good. So I will say that PayPal makes shopping secure. It's safer than giving credit card details directly to an online retailer, for sure. So I want to say hello to Sheriff's House, Tim Robinson, Sean Robinson, Patrick Manny, Bobby Burgess, Alex Tuttle. We have David Walker. We have, of course, Tim Robinson. We have BCH Raman. Nice to have you here. We had Christine Bowman that left. Hello there. It was nice to have you on board. Wood Beast on YouTube. Ivy Nat. Carolis. What do we have? Trying to see if I haven't said hi. Please say hello again. Josh Kinder. Nice to have you here. Sanad Jassim Sanad, hello there, nice to have you here. If I've missed you, please say. It's always sad to lose, you know, a good friend or a mom and stuff like that. And yeah, I just had a little thing here that popped up. I have the Scoop bot in my Skype, and it sometimes pops news things, and I just saw something about North Korea, so I gotta say. So yeah, Paul is outside. You know what, the worst, he actually sat down on me while I was 15 minutes before the show started, and I thought, well, you know, I'm gonna try to keep him here, and the show's gonna start with 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 the cat, but then just 2 or 3 minutes before, he just meowed and said, "Hey, I want to go outside." So okay, thanks for sharing, Terry Lynn Burgess of Bayou Vista, Louisiana. It's awfully young, 63 to 2017. It's like my sister. When my sister died from breast cancer, she was 57. It's just such a young age to die. I always thought that when you die below, before 75, it's too young. My mom died at 77. It starts to get more respectable age, and she was very lucky because my mom almost died when she was 50. I remember when I was in high school, and the doctor told us that she had very little chance of surviving, and that's in 1985, 86, 86, and she gone through that and lived to 77. And in the case of my mom, it's like a second chance in life, really. She was very, very lucky. So, hey, Gilles Garcia, nice to have you here. And, well, it's nice to be back, guys. That's kind of cool. What do you guys think of the new format? The tech news at the beginning, then we go into the questions, we have the bad, and what do you guys think of that new format that I'm doing? You like it? I kind of find it fun to do, and as of course we'll get more questions eventually in the weeks. I forgot to post the emails for the questions for those that want to have questions. Of course, you can ask live on the chat room, but you can send them to helpwithyourcomputers@gmail.com, and so helpwithyourcomputers@gmail.com. You can send me your questions during the week, and I totally forgot to put the email here, so I'm going to have to change the slides to add the email, where in the week people can send me questions. And of course, there's a fantastic chat room here, so you can ask questions in the chat. There's some kind people that answer, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Change the design also. I thought new season, new design. And I kind of like it's probably easier to read for most people. And thanks, Alex, for sharing the Gmail. So, and I kind of find it interesting to have some tech news before we start. I think one thing that I was missing out when from the couch show ended, what I found a little sad was to have some kind of roundup of tech news for what's happening in the last week, the important stuff. And I thought that by adding that to this show, it was adding a new dimension to it, which was kind of really, really cool. Nope, did not get a PC laptop yet. I'm just a little too tight on money to spare $1,000 for a PC right now. Many things have happened, and I've been a little tight on money. So it's in all the projects of, if I can just get a little bit of loose and have a little more cash, it's eventually. So it's very, very difficult, it's and I'm still playing around with all of this and trying to make a decent living off of the live shows that I do here. I thought today, by the way, posting my different live shows and the different channels would kind of be interesting to cross promote my different live shows at different places, because I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that, you know, some people in the tech side that follow me on the Windows side may be interesting to have a you know, a shortwave or a radio show. And actually, I did have a few people respond to that today. And basically, as for the other side, you know, there are some radio side that people basically just go to the Windows side because they have technology and stuff like that. You're not getting the creators update, Alex Tuttle, as a personal choice, or it's just not going to happen on your PC. It's not going to be a release. Sanad Jassim Sanad, any idea when Cortana will be available for the rest of the world? It's really, you know, in this case, it's really a country by country and a language by language feature. So it's never going to roll out to the rest of the world at one point. Like, you know, they're just going to say, hey, Cortana's for everyone now. Because of a very, you know, they want Cortana experience to be extremely local. They want Cortana to feel like she's a girl from your area. So because of that, the experience that Cortana gives needs to be built around each culture, each language. That's why the rollout of Cortana is very, very slow in different markets. And what they are doing is they're, of course, going to the most popular markets first. And then we'll, of course, add some less popular markets for sure. And basically, it's you know, just that difficult. But, you know, that said, if you speak English, you can, you know, just tweak your PC. You know, go in your PC settings. Say you're in the United States, English. Download the language packs for US English. In Cortana will work. It's just that it's not going to be personalized for you. That's mostly it. So that's why it's very long. I mean, it takes time to personalize the experience of Cortana for every different markets. No problem, Tim. We'll be happy to have a beer for your birthday for sure, and that's gonna be fun. I'm happy to be back, by the way, guys. It's feels good today. Feels good. I'm happy to be here. It's kind of cool. Timothy Martin, hello there. Can I ask you what Apple doing in the new building in America? What do you think they're actually going to be up to in it? You know what? Most of what's going to happen, you know, a lot of that is going to be like there's a Foxconn that's building a you know, billion-dollar manufacturing plant. Apple will be doing a few things, but you know what? It all goes down to it's going to be very basic stuff. The manufacturing in the United States is very expensive compared to China and other countries like that. So I don't expect, you know, don't expect iPhones to be made in the US. Don't expect iPads to be made in the US or Mac computers. It's just not going to work out. But they can maybe make specific items, you know, parts, things like that. You know, we have like Texas Instruments. They still make a lot of parts within the United States and the manufacturing plants. It seems to work out. So I think there are things you can maybe build or do. But, you know, between what we are announcing and doing, and in the end, how many people are going to work and what they're going to do, is going to be a very different process. Foxconn wants to make LCD screens. So, of course, these will be used in different devices, that's for sure. Timiad Eliyahu, when will you change the screen recording software? The more people talk about that, the less I'm going to change it. If you're not happy with the screen recorder, just watch other channels. I'm, you know, I think it's all right. It's not perfect. There are some things that need to be better, but you know, especially when I see comments coming from people that never do videos. So sorry about the rude answer, but pretty much what I have to say. What else do you have here? Oh, really, Bobby? You got WLO yesterday. That's cool. That's cool. It's really fun. Samuel Adediji. Is there a place, website, or retailer to obtain a Windows 8 10 software CD? It doesn't come on a CD. You can have it on a USB thumb drive through Microsoft. But you know what? You can actually just download it with the media creation tool on Microsoft's website and create your own bootable USB thumb drive, basically. So you don't necessarily need to have a retail. And by the way, if you guys have Windows 7 or Windows 8, you can use that product key when you install Windows 10, and it's still free. It's still free. That other trick also, using the disability, going on the Microsoft website and say that you're disabled or you have some kind of disability, also gives you free Windows 10. Still works. These two things still works. I think it's intentional. I think they do want that. I think they want to continue. Let's not shut down the possibility of a free upgrade to anyone. Bing homepage as Canada's cat. Really? Okay, let's check it out here. Might be able to. Just gonna check it out here. So Bing. Let's go to Bing. What is it? Bing.ca? Something like that. Okay. Images or news. Let's go to news. News. Let's go to the news. Well, I don't know. It's I'm not at the regular general page, so I don't see it. I've not kept my. Oh, this is nice. Oh, this is nice cat. Is that Canada's cat? Is that what you were saying, Albert? That is a beautiful picture, by the way, from Bing. But kind of nice. Oh yeah, info. Canada links in Denali National Park, Alaska. The funniest thing, you know what, is that it's a picture from the Denali National Park, Alaska. Alaska is a U.S. state, but it's a Canada links in the U.S. state. There's kind of a weird thing in here. It's kind of weird. Just gotta say. Oh god. Yeah, the ISO, the image is downloadable. Hey, Abundant Fun 444. Nice to have you here. Time is flying. Absolutely. What else do we have? What else do we have here? What else do we have? Hey there, Dan Frame. Nice to have you here. Nice to have everybody here. Okay. Put a picture of Paul the cat. Oh, it's his day. That's true. It's his day. Wait a minute. Can I send one? I have one that maybe I can send out somehow. I need to check out Paul the cat. Paul the cat. I need to put up a Paul the cat picture for sure. Can't put it on the TV, but I'm going to show you Paul the cat. This is Paul the cat sleeping last week. Look at that, Paul the cat, just so cute. He's sleeping. A cute little cat. So it's his day today, that's true. Paul the cat day. That's nice. Pretty nice. What else do we have here? Any oh, this one's nice. This one is Paul the cat looking at me and saying, hey, I want some food, I'm hungry. And you guys might not see it very well, but that was a nice one also. So anyways, Paul the cat. So it's cat day today. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I need to put it as a desktop wallpaper for sure. For sure. So really, really nice. So he's outside now. So hey, I guess we're pretty much done for today. I've got really nothing much to talk about. Get those questions ready for next week, and I will of course have my tech news, and we'll try to have a longer show. So this of course has no time limit, by the way. So that means that these shows can last, you know, several hours if there's content and there's a lot of stuff. So it's really really cool. So hope you guys enjoyed the return of the live shows. It was a lot of fun to do, and I think it's very very nice to be back. Remember that we will have the Windows Insider show at 3 p.m. on Thursday. And by the way, it's been a mixed bag of summer here. It's been a lot of rain. We did have some warm days in the past few weeks, but it's okay. You know, it's nothing extraordinary. And I did not get the Pirate Bobby on 5200 USB. I'll have to try that up again. I remember last show somebody mentioned there was someone on 5200. I'll have to check it out. So I need to get a beer. That's all that was missing today. A good beer. So I hope you guys enjoy our live shows, and the live shows for the week this week. Of course, we had today's tech show. So every Tuesdays you can come back and watch our live tech show. Once again, new format: tech news of the week, followed by the questions, followed by the good and the bad of Microsoft or technology for the week. And so it's a little short today, but it's not. It's going to be. I'm sure the other ones. The other ones are going to be. Do I look sad, Ivinette? I'm not sad. It's just. I'm just in the show. I don't know. I'm not sad. I don't. You know, somebody told me I should smile more. A lot of people say I don't smile enough. So maybe I should force myself to smile a little more. It's nice to see you guys, by the way. Really, really nice to see you. See you guys. The regular names and faces and everything. It's really, really cool. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Patrick. By the way, where's the Gripple Pearls and Miss Lady Catherine? They were would have been nice to have a. It'd been nice to have the to have them for the first so yeah, well, it's the regular it's the regular turn up, you know. Like we reached 43. I always look at the counter for the amount of people watching live, and we did reach 43 at some point in the show today, which is a good turnout for this show. You know, it is not like the radio shows. The radio shows that I do can easily reach 100 when there's a lot of people, and constantly is over 80 most of the time. So, you know, we're slowly, we'll try to, you know, to see what we can do to bring a, you know, kind of bring more people to it. Patrick, Gabriel is fine. He loves his job, doing testing for an app. It's a contract, so his contract is going to end at the end of October. After that, doesn't have a job for now. So I actually, and maybe you guys will be happy, if in January Gabriel doesn't have a job, we might be restarting from the couch until, you know, until he gets a job, or at least going into June once again. So maybe some of you will be happy. We'll see how we can change the show a little bit and try different way of bringing the news. So it's a possibility, unless he finds a new job. Of course, we won't be able, but it's something where, you know, we did talk about it last week. He was telling me how he misses his live show time with his uncle. So and I do miss my live show time with him. So it was kind of cool. So who knows if you know, things are different, if he doesn't have a job in January. Maybe you know, maybe we'll have a From the Couch show again. Who knows? Who knows? So it's pretty cool, you know, to be here. And thank you, Cycler39. Hope you guys will enjoy that. I think it's a nice format. Brings a lot of things together. Some tech news and also some other things. Did I get the email? Let me just check it out. I had shut down the email here for a second. Alex Tuttle. Let's see it here. Oh, the email. Are you talking the email of the build 16257, Alex? Yes, with your own your comments of the problems you had with build 16257. Yep, I did get that. So nice to. I'll keep them. We'll talk a little bit about it in the Windows Live, in the Windows Insider Hour. I think it's gonna be cool. And oh, that would be nice, Tim. Today we are from Bali, where we are doing our live show. You know, being a, you know, like having a lot of money. It'd be like every week you're a different country and around the world. Today we are in Greece, next to the Mediterranean, and we are having our live show. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. So for the shows this week, Windows Insider Hour on Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 1900 UTC. And live and drunk from the Mediterranean. That sounds like a bad movie where the guy drowns at the end or something. They were saying, you know, when I read that, is they were saying that every time there's adults that drown in rivers here in Canada or Quebec, it's because they're drunk and they're trying things and they just, you know, fall in the river or something and just drown. So thanks, Alex. I thought it was, you know, I wanted to have something of a design for the PowerPoint that was kind of cleaner, not just a big, you know, a big blue thing that's just like sick color everywhere. I thought that was kind of boring. And somebody was calling me here, and I didn't want to have something that was just, you know, same color and that's it. It was kind of drab. and I started looking at the layouts for the PowerPoints, and I found this one, and I thought it was kind of nice. And you know, all the information in the middle, and you know, I add the pictures and stuff like that. And yeah, well, you know, the contrast is much higher, so it makes it much easier to read, of course, for you guys also. And that was something that I was thinking about, using a bigger contrast so that the screen reading. The only thing is, because it's dark everywhere, the reflections of everything in the room, you guys should see this. There's I actually have a big two big towels that are hung next to the patio window, because there was too much reflections here. So I need to get myself something that covers more of the anything that does a light, to try to lower the reflections in here. But I kind of found it nice, and I thought, well, that was nice. And I wanted to have a new design. The Windows Insider Hour will also have a new design. I wanted to really have a new design. So it's something that you know, I thought, as we're starting the live shows, let's change things around a little bit. Even the TV is going to be different. There's a thing that there's a what the hell, I forgot the name. And I want to put the TV on a kind of a French is bibliothèque, but anyways, the TV would be like starting here and higher, and I was thinking of doing something where I'll be more in the middle and the TV will be over my head, and we'll see all of that together in a different way. And yeah, here, what you see here, if you guys can see it, that's my several hundred watt thing that's there, and that just like is straight in my face. And it is that's what makes all the lighting here. And a few things I'm changing. I'm waiting for a professional microphone. I've bought a very nice microphone. So instead of having you know, instead of having so right now I'm using the PC's microphone, which is not the best thing. And my wireless mic, the one that I got, is really bad. The thing is, I actually bought a microphone that will be you know, snapped to the table here. So basically I'll have a microphone, like a professional microphone here. When I talk into it, will be better also for the sound. So there's a few things like that. And yes, I need to have some curtains to block everything. You know, in the wintertime it's not a problem, because in December or January it's dark at 4 p.m. So it's like I started the show and it's already dark outside almost. But at this time of year, of course, you know, it really shows. So I need to fix a few things like that. Alex, Jill, I want to take the time to tell what idea about what I feel about insiders. It will be a big email. I will send it. Yep, no problem. Okay, no problem. We'll check it out for sure. So yeah, more bassy here. I sound a little more. I've lost I've lost part of my masculine touch. So I'm glad to be back. Let's just hope that I can. The next step is really this fall to make it more. You know, have a little more cash coming in. So hopefully. Hey, Jacqueline, nice to have you here. And Shirley Bassey, what is that? McDonald's Canada. I've got an offer from McDonald's Canada. You know what? The funniest thing is I have the McDonald's app here, and it actually works. I've been able to actually get some really cool offers by just scanning my phone at the McDonald's. Thank you, Patrick Manny, by the way, for your donations. Bobby Burgess also donations last week. Atawahinta, regular contributor every month. And I don't want to forget everyone, but I got to tell you, it's really, really appreciated for everything I do. And yes, Android is coming. It's in the list. I've got a nice pad. I've got to show you guys. I thought it was just so cool. Just gonna go and get the pad here. So I was at a store the other day, and I was looking at things to, you know, kind of put me back into doing stuff. And I saw this pad that I found just cool. So bonne idée is French for a good idea. So I thought it was nice. So I just clip my papers here and start writing. Every time I get an idea, you know, I just start writing and put my ideas in here. So it's kind of, you know, it's kind of cool. So really, really fun. And so for the Linux, yes, and I'm even thinking of a Linux show. So we will see. We will see as time comes by. It won't be before January if it does, but I'm thinking of a Linux show. Yeah, it's a nice writing board, really nice. So I thought, hey, I want to have this. It's gonna help me. It's gonna help me, you know, be more productive. So I think that's gonna be fun. I am a Linux newbie also, and what I would like to have as a there's a surprise, guys. Hey, it's your day apparently. Come here. Yeah, here, guys. Look who came in. Mr. Paul the Cat is here, saying hi to everyone. Just gonna lower the camera a little bit. Yeah, I know you don't like it, but here you go. So hey there. It's Mr. Paul the Cat. Let's remove this glass here. Mr. Paul the Cat is here, so your entertainment. Paul le Chat. Yep. So hey, happy Pussy Day. That sounds so bad when I say it like that. Happy Cat Day. That sounds. The other one sounds weird. So you know, I am pretty much a newbie at Linux also. So basically, I want to make sure that it could be a very nice and interesting show. So yeah, Pussy Day. The International Pussy Day. That sounds bad. I have to flag this video. 18 years now. Well, you know, it has many different meanings. So anyways, yes, the Linux videos are coming now, and there is there are videos coming up. Yeah, I'm just setting up now. You know, this week is the first week where I really start working hard on videos. By the way, just for quick information, maybe it's quite possible that tomorrow I will not have a news bulletin in any videos posted. I am we rented a car. I have to go to Drummondville for a few things. So it's possible I want to have time to do anything tomorrow. So if you guys don't see videos tomorrow, it's okay. And basically, it's I'll be back Thursday with the stuff and everything. So there was a push. Let me know. I will sign up. And is the LG V10 a good? Yeah, it is still a good phone. It is still a good phone, by the way. So it's really worth it. Really worth it. And you know, we're gonna try to do something. Hey, Nils Pedersen, nice to have you on board as usual. And I'm using actually I'm using it on this PC here with the with the chat if I actually lower this a little bit like this. I am using Farron OS, which is a variation of the Linux Mint. But what's cool with it is you can actually reprogram it to look like other OSs. So this is the Windows 10 look. So it really looks like a Windows 10 machine with that. You can say, hey, I want it to look like Mac OS, and suddenly you have a PC that looks like a Mac with the dock and everything. You can say, I want to have it look like a Chromebook, or of course it has its own system. You can even have it, you know, I did that for a few days. There's a mode that's, I think it's Windows 95. Everything looks like Windows 95 in it. It's just so funny. And I've been using this distro for a couple of weeks now, and I really like it. Really like it. I gotta tell you that. So yeah, it's a full theme. It's really kind of cool. Really love it. So and of course we'll try different types of things. Gilles Garcia, Windows 10 S is really, I don't kind of, you know, understand Windows 10 S that much, and I'm not sure it's a good idea at all. What else do we have? Yeah, the LG G6, all of that are pretty cool. So still on my Galaxy S7. Still got a few, yeah, S for sucks, exactly, Patrick. I am going to, you know, see if I upgrade what's next, but I still have about 6 or 7 months into my contract, so for now I love, you know, I still love my Galaxy S7, which is very nice. So, and anyways, in the Linux channel, we will be looking at all sorts of distros. I'll be like installing, you know, Linux distros crazy on one machine. I'll keep one on a regular Linux like this. This one, I like this computer because it's a 17-inch screen, and it's been a little, I'd say a little difficult on Linux distros, and this one works really well. So this is going to be interesting. As for the I've got another machine that actually I've installed several Linux distros and always works well, so I'll probably dedicate that machine, and every week we'll have a new distro and talk about distros and features and all sorts of things. I think it's going to be nice. Yes, Nils posted a video also talking about it today, Firefox 55, and they are in a middle of a redesign, by the way. I think in the next, as version 57, I think they're going to change the icon for Firefox and all things like that. So it's going to be very nice. And no, I will have proper installs. I don't want to do it in VM. I want to have the machine's going to have you know, a proper install. Will reformat and install from scratch on a actual machine the Linux distros. Android O next Android version, Android O, which still doesn't have a name, is in a few weeks. From what we hear, it should be released like maybe September. So they really need a name quickly now, because it's already in some of the previews that mean that it's extremely close to getting out there. So that's going to be interesting to see also. So pretty cool. Yep, there's a Firefox nightly browser. Absolutely, Patrick. It's like Chromium, which is, you know, well, I don't know what's happening with the cat, but the cat's running all around. So anyways, I want to thank everybody for being here today. Thursday, Windows Insider Hour, 3 p.m. Eastern, 1900 UTC. Hope you guys can be there, and we will talk about the latest build. Cross our fingers, maybe a build tomorrow, we don't know. Happy to be here. It's nice to have all of you here. It's nice to see familiar faces. And see you Thursday. Apart from that, Friday, there's a radio show. So Friday, 2000 hours UTC, 4 p.m. Eastern. We will, of course, be on the radio show for this Thursday. So take care, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the new tech show, the new format. I want to thank you, everyone, for being here. Always cool to have all of you. Take care, and see you soon. See you soon, everyone. It's nice to have you on board, and love you all. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, please.